Appreciate the chance to be here. And thank you, Anne, for putting information about the court that Craig and I are running for. Yes, this is a court that it will be an open seat. The Honorable Judge Brenda Kennedy is retiring after many years as a judge, not only at the criminal district court level, but also at the misdemeanor level, where I am currently presiding as judge of County Court at Law Number 6. I've been judge of one of our 7 misdemeanor criminal courts here in Travis County for the last 11 years. And I'm seeking election to the felony level court, the 403rd, as mentioned already. As a judge, one of the things that I have spent a lot of my efforts in doing is creating, I'm proud to say, an award-winning diversion program for the youngest defendants in our criminal justice system. Not those that are handled at the juvenile level, but those who are handled as the youngest adults in our adult level criminal justice system, starting at only 17 in our state of Texas. Defendants who are charged and are prosecuted as adults. And the significance here, I'd say mostly, involves the fact that when you are an adult and you are convicted of a crime or found guilty of a crime in the state of Texas, that record of conviction stays permanently on your record for the rest of the person's life. That is a very significant price to pay. It cuts off many opportunities, whether it's for employment or education or housing or banking, credit, for example, even permission to travel. Many careers, for example, do not allow people who have had a conviction to even seek education for those particular areas. The court that I'm running for, that judge presides over the youth court. This is one of the main reasons that I'm seeking election to this bench. I'd like to continue the work that I've done, and work in the 403rd as judge will afford me that opportunity. I'm proud to say that we have had a great deal of success with Project Engage. Not everyone succeeds, don't get me wrong. These are high-risk teens, some of whom are aging out of the CPS system, the majority of whom never have a parent appear in court with them, not just one setting, but any setting. It's difficult to observe. A lot of these defendants have a family member who's incarcerated. Some of them have a family member who's passed away, and they're the breadwinner for a family with multiple younger siblings, for example. A good number of our teenage and young adult defendants are taking care of siblings while a single parent is working during the day. So we started this program. It's not anything that I necessarily planned to do, but soon after I became a judge, I started seeing the teenage defendants on my docket that matched a lot of these circumstances and extra challenges that you're hearing about, extreme challenges really. We started putting them on the same day, and then really trying to triage a lot of their very significant but basic challenges that we could solve, whether it was housing, whether it was finding a way to get these kids back into school, to get a GED, or to recover their credits at places like Goodwill, Excel Academy, American Youth Works, which I sit on the board of now, or CAN Academy. And we started having a great deal of success in that regard. And so the other courts started transferring their cases to County Court at Law Number 6. And then we also started working with a number of partners within our community where government didn't have the answer. We found that in a thriving city like ours, in a thriving county like ours, we have a number of nonprofits that wanted to get involved and give back. They created community service, leadership inspiring community service opportunities for our defendants in places like Mexicarte Museum, even the Austin Rowing Club. Our kids were, wearing Dickies and vests and taking tickets and helping run a regatta on Lake Austin, many of whom have never been to Town Lake or Lake Lady Bird, for example, despite growing up here and living even nearby. So anyway, let me move off that for a moment and just say that I've been, working as a judge, and I'm still growing as a judge. I'm not perfect, but I'm proud to have a record of success, not only with Project Engage, but also in polls by the defense bar, for example, recently, who majority of the attorneys before me rated me excellent. I'm proud to say. I've been working as a lawyer here in my hometown, Austin, for the last 24 years, all in criminal justice. I'm proud to have served as an assistant county attorney, an assistant district attorney, a special assistant United States attorney and defense attorney, and then as judge for the last 11 years. I handled a lot of complicated criminal offenses as a prosecutor and as a federal defense attorney before I became a judge. I've got the experience that's requisite for this high-level criminal trial court that both Craig Moore and I are seeking to succeed Judge Kennedy in. I'm also proud of the fact that I've got a lot of support, not just simply from the criminal bar, but from leaders within our community. I hope that you'll join the other clubs, the majority of which have endorsed me in this race. And lastly, let me say that I appreciate a strong slate of candidates in a lot of these races, and maybe all of them. And Mr. Moore is someone who I've worked in the same building with for a number of years. We're work friends, and I appreciate having an opponent in him in this. I feel like I'm definitely the more experienced in this, but that's not why I ask for your support. I want your support because I am committed to increasing the number of diversion programs for our teenagers and young adults. I feel very strongly about this work. I know that there's a great amount of work that needs to be done, and I think I can do a good job. We're in a special place in Austin where a lot of what we're doing in our courts when it comes to diversion program is considered cutting edge. The State Department sent a delegation of judges from another country to observe courts, and one of those courts was mine, Project Engage. They came for 2 days, I'm proud to say, and I think we're on to something here. And I think that we can continue this work and not only improve the lives of a lot of young adults who are caught up in our criminal justice system, but also I think this is good for our community. And I hope to have your support.
We do have 2 questions in the Q&A. Doug Mellon asks, if you could change one thing about the district criminal court system, what would that be?
To be honest with you, I think that there are a number of things that need to be changed. We really have a galvanization of support for criminal justice reform in our country and in our community. And I think we need to seize on that. I think the biggest issue that I feel like we can really, really work toward fixing involves our youth. It involves those 17-year-olds with no parent who want a better life, who want to be employed, who want to be maybe get their GED or go back to school and get on the other side of a drug addiction problem. And we've got a community that's here to support and programs that have a track record of success. So I think that's the main thing that I will commit to. I think the other thing is that we need to be more transparent in our courts, particularly at the district level where we are dealing with the most serious felony level offenses that exist in our state. This is a difficult place with hard, challenging work, but it needs to be more transparent. One of the reasons I appreciate having this webinar and all of you, Joan, thank you for this, is because so many people that are jurors in cases that I've presided over, for example, or who I know and have met in the community, they don't have an even sometimes a basic understanding of what's happening in our criminal courts. It's too complex. I know you all have to feel that way, even like me, in choosing a candidate, a judicial candidate. There's so many issues, so many different courts. I think we need to be more transparent, and we can work toward doing that. A lot of these things can be online, and even we can interface with the public. The pandemic has shown us that.